love it.
You're listening to the Schmooze!
With Yael Shoshani Mapsuta. I'm a happiness mentor.
And I'm Tova Goldman, creating content with humor and inspiration to give you a lift to your day. Okay. Hi, so what are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to talk about friends.
Oh! I actually have to say that I was never part of the original Friends culture. And my friend that died, she was like, oh, Tova, you have to watch Friends. And she thought this was like a deficiency in me. And, you know, Bimission Nefesh, with like great strength of moral character, I sat down and I watched all 10 seasons of all Friends.
Oh my God.
So yes, I watched it, and it was interesting. Like you see what everybody's talking about, and what are your thoughts? Let's talk about it. Let's open it up.
Okay, so I'm not such an avid watcher as you. I saw like a chapter here, a chapter there.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. And the first thing I love about this show is the characters. I think like everyone is like so specific, and my favorite is Phoebe.
Mine too.
Is like walking in this world and not really touching it.
Oh my God. So you relate the most to Phoebe? Oh my God, me too. I'm like, that's me on screen.
I can relate also to others.
Right.
Like I could see me in like stressed out Monica.
Right.
I could see me in anxious Rachel. I can see me like also even sometimes Joey. Like you feel like it doesn't get to you.
Right.
Like you don't get the point.
Right.
But Phoebe is like such a great character.
Oh, who would you most want to be like?
Wow, that's a tough one. I guess I think Ross is like more like a balanced, a little bit more character. No, he's like naturally good.
Yeah,
I think he has like this like goodness in him, trying to be nice, trying always to be a mensch.
Yeah.
He doesn't always succeed being a mensch,
but
he has this about him that he really wants to be.
Right.
And okay, so that would be like an ideal. But I think like if I'm realistically speaking about myself, I'm probably more like Rachel. I take everything to heart. I get offended very easily.
I think so. I'm totally like Phoebe, but I think that I also have a lot of Chandler in me. There's a lot of sarcasm going on there, and sometimes people just don't get it. I got myself in trouble with my big mouth yesterday, but that's just me. So I think there's a lot of Chandler in me. I would love to be, OCD Monica. About cleaning, I'm just not there. Sorry, not there.
Neither am I.
Not there at all. Tell me, what do you think about like even today, people still watch that show. People go around with T-shirts and people can quote it, and people have that ideal. What was so powerful about Friends?
Well, I think that one of the brilliant writing tricks that they use a lot in the show is to take like one issue and to talk about it in totally like different terms. Like, for example, I watched yesterday for my homework an episode.
Good job. You get an A.
And Monica went out on a date with a friend, another friend, which wasn't Rachel, and she didn't want to tell Rachel. And then she said, and then finally Rachel finds out, and she said, we went shopping.
Right,
and,
right.
Oh my God, but tell me this. Did you go to Bloomingdale's? And we understand that the conversation isn't really about shopping. It's the whole issue of of being trustworthy. And usually this is the subcontext is talking about couples and about trust in a relationship of a man and a woman. And suddenly they're taking it to, can you really be friends with two friends at the same time? And that's what's really hysterical about this episode, but also really deep, because it gives you, I think what people find in it is, the little nuances that you don't usually pay attention to.
Right.
And then it enlightens it. It puts like a big light bulb on it and say, hey, look, you have this in your life too.
Right.
You have these issues. You have these questions.
Right. I think also it was very powerful that, the six of them were always there for each other. That's huge, and I think that when you're looking at life, what you really want is somebody just to be there with you.
I'll be there
for you. And they were there for each other.
Yeah.
There was like this duality going on that they both, all six of them were there. They received and they got. And I think that we would all want that type of friendship.
Yeah.
Where you can go into somebody's house and just take their beer and they did a lot of crazy things together also. They were always there for each other. They hurt each other, and they got hurt, and they were stupid and they were insensitive. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, they were all there for each other.
Yeah.
And that's so, I think that's something that we would all want. And maybe that's the effect and the power of friends, that they really were amazing friends to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I want to highlight the point that you said about being hurt and asking for forgiveness and all that. And I think that's like harder in real life, because once you're hurt, you're really a lot of times like inside yourself, and the show shows it sometimes, like people get hurt from each other and they don't talk for a couple of days and stuff like that. But in real life, you feel it much like heavier.
Right.
And I know for myself, like I have a long-term friendship with my friend, and there was a time, like for several months, we didn't talk to each other because it was so painful. Wow. And we had to do a lot of stuff to overcome the hurt and the pain that we hurt each other. And so the show gives us a taste of that. Right. And we can definitely feel like they're talking about us.
Right. I think there's also something so powerful, like you said, about friendships. I also, I have a friend, we cannot talk for months. And then when I talk to her, I need her. She's like my anchor, she might not know everything, but I'll be like, okay, I'll give you the highlights. And she's my anchor. Yeah. Because she's known me for so long and we've been through so much together. There's that anchor of, everything goes wrong in the world, like what they say in the song of the introduction. Everything can go wrong in the world, but you have that anchor.
Yeah.
Let's talk about whether you would let your children watch that show, specifically Friends.
Okay, so yesterday I was taking Batzion home from her school, and she said, I watched the show, it was boring. And, well, I found that really weird because I like the show. Mm-hmm. But I guess humor has a context, and you have to sort of relate to the context.
Right.
And maybe she's too young to relate to it. Okay. Maybe it's just not her culture.
Right.
And I don't know, because there's so much sexuality going on the show.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I really want her to be perceptive of that.
Right. Yeah. There's so many, also so many sexual innuendos that oh my God.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite moments in Friends?
The sexual innuendos?
No.
Tova's turning red, I'm just telling you.
I'm doing?
I have to take a picture of this.
Back on track. What are your favorite episodes or what are your favorite moments in Friends?
Well,
we actually have to stop recording because we were laughing so hard. Favorite episodes on Friends.
Okay, so I like the scene where in the beginning where Rachel comes in with her wedding dress, ran away from her own wedding.
Right. That's pretty courageous.
Yeah. And it's something that probably would happen only on TV.
Right.
But it makes a very strong invite to the show. It makes you totally connected and totally into Rachel and trying to help her, and you feel compassion. It's like save the cat, you know the term. And every story you have to have like somebody that makes you feel compassionate towards them, and then you get connected to the story.
Right.
So it's called Save the Cat. That's a method.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Taught me something.
So Rachel's a cat.
Okay.
What's yours?
I actually don't feel compassionate for Rachel in that situation. Like, it bothers me that, why did you wait until this last minute until, get a grip, girl.
Yeah.
Which episode did I like? There are great moments. I think the one with Monica and the turkey on her head. That's just classic. And you see that their relationship moves on, and that their relationship was so beautiful. Like, you see the progression of their relationship. It wasn't like, up and down and up and down and up and down like Ross and Rachel. It was very steady. There was the minute they realized that they love each other, that they like each other, that they're attracted to each other, there was that natural progression, and they helped each other. They helped each other. She became less OCD, and he became more open to his feelings. And that moment where he says, I love you, Monica, that was just so spontaneous, so special, and just so, it was sweet. It was sweet. It was just, there was something very sweet about that. Let's compare Monica's relationship and Chandler's relationship to Ross and Rachel. We can even do Phoebe and Mike also.
Well, that's too much.
Right?
Yeah, you compare. I don't know what what do you see that stands out to you?
I think you can say that Monica and Chandler, they like I said before, they were more steady. They helped each other. They grew together. There's something beautiful about Ross and Rachel. There is, like you're cheering for them. You're the whole 10 years, and they keep you interested. Is it on again? Is it off again? Are they on a break? But it was very like explosive.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want that type of relationship. I would want the more, the steady Monica Chandler, less fireworks, less everybody's involved and whatever, but more love, more support, more steadfast growing together.
You think they would be in love with each other if they didn't be so close as friends?
Ooh,
if they just met on a date.
Ooh, interesting
just
question.
A blind date or on an app.
Oh my God. On an app.
They would throw each other out the window, I think. They wouldn't even consider each other, right. I think, because there's something about getting close to somebody gradually,
right,
and knowing them in all kinds of situations that brings out the intimacy.
Right.
And a lot of things, I think the problem that people have dating today is that a lot goes on the first impression, a lot goes on the picture,
right,
a lot goes on whatever the status is, and you don't really meet the person.
Right.
And they got to meet each other as people, living close by, having common adventures adventures together
Right.
and stuff to do together and stuff like that. And so they like, it grew on them.
Beautiful.
And I think that's a model that's pretty rare to see on TV.
Right. Even in real life.
Even in real life, yeah, because usually, like, you don't know the person, but
Right.
there are these love stories of people who like grew up together, and one day they realize that they can really be not just friends.
Right. I get overnight.
So tell a little bit about Yaakov.
Oh my God.
Sure.
We're first cousins. My husband and I are first cousins. He grew up here and I grew up there, like in Toronto. And he's named for my great grandfather, and I'm named for my great grandmother. They were married to each other, and they died. Right? They died within 6 months of each other, and we were born within 6 months of each other. And we always had this like special connection. He would write to me. I would write to him. He would tell me what he's learning. I would tell him about baseball. And then when I was here for the year, he was dating somebody with one of my friends, and I was dating one of his friends, and it just did not work out. And then I came back, and we were both dating other people, and we both interacted with each other and asked for each other advice. And I said, as a joke, I said, it's a shame we can't get married. He says, why not? I said, we're cousins, and here we are. But I think in Judaism, like that's something that they say, like, don't have that. You can't have that sort of like platonic relationship that they have on Friends. You cannot have a friendship between a guy and a girl that is just a pure friendship. And I think that's definitely I lost the word, but like the proof of it. That's the word. Proof that the platonic relationships are never between men and females. There's never a platonic relationship. You can't have without somebody feeling something somewhere along the line, and it can be a very dangerous thing. Also, I think. Also, in terms of religion, I think they were like a little bit messed up. Some of them are Jewish, some of them are not Jewish, some of them sometimes are Jewish. They always have Christmas. What is up with that? Like, I mean, I'm not sure I'm following. Like, either you are or you're not, or it's important to you or it's not important to you.
I think there are a lot of Jews in America that live that way. Have a whole. They don't feel really very connected to their roots. And my father, he brought home a Hanukkah bush on Christmas. He said he had a tree in his house all the time. So when he married my mom, who was a little bit more Orthodox, not really Orthodox, but sort of, she kept a thing or two. He said, I need a tree.
How did that go over?
It was, I think, a one-time thing. We have pictures of it.
Oh my God.
Of the Hanukkah bush.
I think what you're saying is interesting. I mean, as a kid, we grew up in Toronto, and everywhere you go, there were Christmas trees and Christmas lights, Christmas shopping, Christmas everything. Even today, 20 years later, I get to that season and I'm like, oh, it's a feeling like Christmas. and it's automatic, like I automatically I sing the carols and automatically I'm humming Christmas songs because it was so much a part of your world, and that's the beauty, I think, of coming to Israel, that, on every Egged bus, it says Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. I never get tired of that. You go into every single store, doesn't matter if they're religious or not religious, and every single store has a Hanukkah. Every single person knows about Pesach. Yeah. They may or may not.
Yeah, you buy challah on Friday, and the seller tells you Shabbat Shalom, and it really warms your heart.
Oh my gosh! It's just like like somebody who claims to be totally not affiliated, totally not connected. He says, Baruch Hashem. Dude, wow. Like, you're. I mean, okay, sure. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful that everybody, on some level, feels their Judaism, and they don't need to be afraid of it.
Right.
And I think that was part of the huge thing on Friends, that, okay, we're friends with all these people and we love all these people, but what and where does our religion play a factor? So, okay, so we'll have the Hanukkah and but the main thing is Christmas. And here I think it's the opposite. And I love that. I'm so in love with that. I can never get tired of hearing that. I can never get tired of seeing that. And just the culture that pervades Israel is Jewish. And that is just, wow. I'm home, baby.
So what kind of values do you think we can take from Friends?
First of all, the friendships.
Yeah.
The friendships. Like you said, the forgiveness. The forgiveness was huge. Also trust.
Yeah.
Trust. That's a huge issue. Can I trust you with my innermost thoughts? Can I trust you with my innermost feelings? Are you going to laugh at me? Are you going to be supportive of me and of who I am and what I'm thinking? Or are you just going to knock me down? I mean, I don't agree with it, obviously, but, when Joey became a porn star, they all watched, and it wasn't that they're watching porn. It was, like you said, the subtext was, we're encouraging our friend. That's pretty impressive, that you would do something for your friend on that level. What about you?
I think also intimacy and vulnerability, which really is like, it makes intimacy possible.
Ooh.
Because
Nice.
A lot of shows depict how you have to be like great, and maybe previous shows that showed us like adult people, they didn't show us their flaws too much,
Right. Right.
And here they're full of flaws, and they own them.
I love that. Own your flaws. I love that. That is so amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm writing this down. Like when we have merchandise, we're gonna have that on a cup or something.
Own your flaw.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We were talking about this before we started recording, that the parents of all of them were basically sort of dysfunctional. And I'm wondering, like, first of all, I'm wondering as a parent myself, how much damage I did to my children with my own hangups and my own flaws. Like, what's his name says, Hanan Ben-Ari, like, my children shouldn't inherit my flaws and my my stupidities and my hangups. But you see that how the parents related to the children was how the children took it, and it wasn't like they could spit it out. It was who you were as a child because of what your parents said to you influences who you become today, and that's a lot of work to get rid of those negative voices. Definitely.
I think that is something that I always stress in my work with people and with my own work that I work with myself.
Right.
Is that my past is in the past. and I am not the same person as my mom or as my father, even though I really loved my father and I had a really intriguing relationship with my mom. That's what I'm going to say at this point. And I'm not either of them. Right. I'm my own person. Right. And even if the mistakes look like the same mistakes, they're not. Right. They're my own.
They're my own.
And I know that I grew from these mistakes. I know that although, I was a pretty cruddy mom in the beginning. I used to yell at my kids.
I still yell at my kids.
I sometimes used to beat them up. I'm not proud of it. But I think I was always aware that this is not the kind of mom I want to be.
Right.
And I knew that I can change. And I got help. And I got more help. And I got more help until I really managed to really change the whole atmosphere at home, to change the way I even blow up today.
Right.
When I start screaming at my kids, I go to gibberish. And I like, and it's a great way to be angry.
Yeah.
Even at myself.
Right.
It's like you don't have the wrong words coming out of your mouth. You have words that don't mean anything.
Right.
And I really like it that in this show that they show how you're hurt, but you can still mend it.
Right.
And I like that. And it's very optimistic. And I can relate to that. And that's something that I do believe in, that people can change. And people, you can't maybe you can't make like Phoebe down to earth. That won't happen.
No.
But she becomes a little bit more aware,
right,
as she grows up,
right,
and a little less tactless, a little, but sometimes, and that's something important that I studied from Rabbi Nachman,
right,
that the little bit counts,
right, right,
because sometimes we say, okay, so if I didn't do a real major change in my life, so it doesn't count,
right.
If I don't do the 100%, it doesn't count.
Right.
But Rabbi Nachman says every little step counts.
Right.
Every little way that we approach our goal, that counts. Right. It's important. Right. And that's what we should cherish.
Totally. And I think the fact that a lot of them had messed up backgrounds and messed up ideas and confidence, the confidence was misplaced. I think the fact that they had that group of people to help them was unbelievable. Like we said, they were there for each other and they helped raise each other up. Totally beautiful. I think we are coming to an end of this episode, and we had a great time. We hope you had a great time listening to us.
Yeah, tell us what you think about the show. If you have more insights about Friends,
we'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
Next week, we are going to be talking about
Anne of Green Gables.
So excited. So we are giving you guys homework. Please watch episodes of Anne of Green Gables, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. We'd love to hear your insights, comments, ideas. If there's anything specific that you would want us to talk about, please let us know. Once again, I'm Tova Goldman, and this is Yael Shoshani,
and we're the Schmooze!